Well, here we are in 2024. The flying cars haven't arrived yet, more's the pity. But the cars we do have are awash in more technology than ever before. Remember when a car radio was the height of sophistication? Now we've got screens everywhere, sensors that can practically drive the car for you, and enough computing power to rival a small spaceship. It's all a bit much, really, but I suppose we can't stop progress. And some of these gadgets are genuinely useful. They can make driving safer, more efficient, and even more enjoyable in a way. But we have to be careful. We don't want to become slaves to technology, or let it distract us from the simple pleasure of driving. Remember the days when you could just hop in and drive? No need to fiddle with touchscreens or navigate complex menus. Just a steering wheel, a few dials, and the open road. Those were the days. But I digress. Let's have a look at what the future holds, shall we? The most obvious change in modern cars is the proliferation of screens. No longer are we content with a simple radio display. Now we have giant touchscreens controlling everything from navigation to climate control to the sound system. It's like having a tablet computer embedded in your dashboard. Some of these systems are quite good, I'll admit. They're intuitive to use and offer a wealth of information. But others are overly complicated and distracting. I've been in cars where it takes 5 menus just to change the radio station. It's enough to make you want to pull over and resort to a cassette tape. And don't even get me started on the digital instrument clusters. Gone are the days of simple, elegant dials. Now we have screens that can display everything from your speed and revs to the navigation map to your current Spotify playlist. It's all very flashy, but is it really necessary? I sometimes think we're sacrificing clarity and readability for the sake of looking futuristic. Electric cars are all the rage these days. And rightly so, in my opinion. They're quiet, efficient, and surprisingly powerful. Plus, you can feel good about doing your bit for the environment. Assuming the electricity you're using is generated sustainably, of course. But the infrastructure is still lagging behind. Finding a charging station can be a real challenge, especially if you're venturing off the beaten path. And even when you do find a charger, you're often in for a long wait. Charging an electric car takes time, much longer than filling up a petrol tank. This is fine if you're at home overnight, but not so convenient if you're on a long journey. Range anxiety is a real thing, you know. No one wants to be stranded by the side of the road with a flat battery. Still, the technology is improving all the time. Batteries are getting bigger, charging times are getting shorter, and the range of electric cars is increasing. I'm confident that in a few years these issues will be a thing of the past. Electric cars are the future. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of ironing out a few wrinkles. Self-driving cars are another technology that's been generating a lot of buzz. The idea of sitting back and letting the car do the driving is certainly appealing, but despite what some manufacturers would have you believe, we're still a long way from truly autonomous vehicles. Yes, there are cars with advanced driver assistance systems that can handle some driving tasks, such as lane keeping and adaptive cruise control. But these systems are still quite limited. They can't handle complex situations or unpredictable events. A human driver is still required to be alert and ready to take control at any moment. I'm not convinced that fully self-driving cars will ever be a reality, at least not in my lifetime. Driving is a complex task that requires judgment, intuition, and an understanding of human behavior. I don't think computers will ever be able to replicate that completely, but who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Stranger things have happened. Heads-up displays, or HUDs, are another technology borrowed from the world of aviation. They project information onto the windshield, allowing the driver to see vital data without taking their eyes off the road. This can be particularly useful for navigation, as you can see the next turn without having to glance down at the sat-nav. Some HUDs can also display information about your speed, revs, and fuel level. They can even show you warnings from the car's safety systems, such as lane departure warnings or blind spot alerts. It's all very futuristic and a bit James Bond, really. But I'm not sure it's entirely necessary. After all, we managed to drive for decades without HUDs. I suppose it's a matter of personal preference. Some drivers find HUDs helpful, while others find them distracting. I'm somewhere in the middle. I can see the potential benefits, but I'm not sure I'd want one in my own car. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, or maybe I just like the simplicity of a traditional dashboard. Parking can be a tricky business, especially in tight spaces. But fear not, technology is here to help. Many modern cars are equipped with parking assist systems, that can practically park the car for you. These systems use sensors to detect obstacles and then steer the car into the space, while you control the accelerator and brake. Some systems can even handle perpendicular parking, which is the bane of many drivers' existence. With perpendicular parking, you have to reverse into a space that's at a 90-degree angle to the road. It's a maneuver that requires precision and a good deal of spatial awareness. But with parking assist, you can let the car do the hard work for you. Of course, even with parking assist, you still need to be paying attention. The system can't account for every eventuality, and you're still ultimately responsible for the car. But it can certainly make parking less stressful, especially if you're not confident in your own abilities. Voice control is another technology that's becoming increasingly common in cars. Many new models allow you to control various functions with your voice, such as the navigation system, the sound system, and even the climate control. This can be very convenient, especially if you don't want to take your hands off the wheel. However, voice control systems can be a bit temperamental. They don't always understand what you're saying, and they can sometimes misinterpret your commands. I've been in cars where I've ended up shouting at the voice control system in frustration, which is never a good look. Still, when voice control works well, it can be very useful. It can allow you to keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel, which is always a good thing. And as the technology improves, I'm sure voice control systems will become more reliable and easier to use. Sustainability is a hot topic these days, and rightly so. We need to do everything we can to reduce our impact on the environment, and the automotive industry is playing its part. Electric cars are the most obvious example, but there are other ways in which cars are becoming more sustainable. For example, many manufacturers are using recycled materials in their cars. They're also using lighter materials to reduce weight, which improves fuel efficiency, and they're developing new technologies to make engines cleaner and more efficient. Sustainability is not just about the car itself, it's also about the way it's manufactured. Many car factories are now powered by renewable energy, and they're using less water and energy in the production process. It's all part of a move towards a more sustainable future. Connected cars are another trend that's gaining momentum. These cars are equipped with internet connectivity, which allows them to access a wide range of online services. For example, you can use a connected car to stream music, get real-time traffic updates, and even book a table at a restaurant. Some connected cars can even communicate with other cars and with infrastructure such as traffic lights. This can help to improve traffic flow and reduce congestion. It can also make driving safer, as cars can warn each other about potential hazards. Connected cars are still in their early stages of development, but the potential is huge. In the future, our cars could become an integral part of the Internet of Things, seamlessly connecting with our homes, our workplaces, and our lives. So, what does the future hold for driving? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing's for certain: technology will continue to play a major role. Cars will become more connected, more automated, and more sustainable. We may even see the rise of flying cars, although I wouldn't hold your breath. But amidst all this technological advancement, it's important to remember the essence of driving. It's about the freedom of the open road, the thrill of the engine, and the simple pleasure of getting behind the wheel. Let's hope that technology enhances these experiences rather than replacing them altogether. Personally, I'm looking forward to a future where cars are cleaner, safer, and more efficient. But I also hope that there's still a place for the simple joy of driving. After all, what's the point of having all this technology if it doesn't make our lives more enjoyable?